We have lots of pre-workout. Okay, Isagenix, want more energy. Great combination. About an hour before you go work out. Take 1 to 2 Isagenix and some want more energy. Erin's nodding her head. Apparently she's done it. At the same time, you can add in some ionics. I'll caution you about that. I'll come back to that. And we do have some athletes that use caffeine for performance. They're using stuff like Red Bull and 5-hour energy. I would suggest to you that you may want to substitute the E-shot. First of all, it's a little lower in caffeine. Second of all, the adaptogenic curves are going to give you a lot better workout. But I want to talk about this combination of ionics, want more energy, and Isagenix. It's also known as the romantic trio. We learned this from the people in New York. I didn't invent it. They came up and made all these claims that they could turn Isagenix into an afternoon of delight. Apparently, if you combine those products, it's true. I had to go look up in the books. It was true. But I had a funny story about that. I had this wonderful couple come up to me, and people say the darndest things. They were in their 40s, and the wife comes up to me and goes, "My husband is making love to me every day." What do you say? I'm in public. What do you say? The responses go through the head, congratulations. Your husband goes, "Yes, I make love to my wife every day." Wow, that's great. What's your secret? I lift weights for an hour. I wasn't buying that. I said, "What are you taking before you go to the gym?" "Want more energy, ionics, and some Isagenix." I said, "You know what? It's not the gym that's causing that romantic moments with your wife." So he'd been taking the romantic trio and thought it was the gym that was giving him the performance improvement. All right, post-workout, you take your shakes. Okay, you don't take it. You're going to take it before you work out, ideally at least 2 hours, ideally 3 hours before you work out. Because if you don't, you're going to be digesting the shake instead of using that that blood for your workout. So you take it post-workout. People get upset about this when I tell them because they want to take this and then they go to the gym first thing in the morning. Just take it after. Okay? And you have, how long to get it into you, Jason? 30 minutes. You got 30 minutes to get into because you've got this window where your muscles will take up amino acids for 1 hour to boost your growth hormone. If you miss that hour, you will not get the same response. That's just physiology. That's just the way it is. Okay, up to 84.21% loss of vitamins and minerals in our food supply, according to the USDA. And people argue about this. It's really quite extraordinary. Have you noticed we've been poisoning the soil or not? We sterilize the soil, so we have ageless essentials. Okay, people ask, "Well, I eat organic and healthy. I don't need your program. I get enough vitamins from my food." No, you don't. Up to 84.2% loss of vitamins and minerals in the food supply. You must supplement. You must use vitamins and minerals. This is a terrific vitamin and mineral combination. And they add in what? Resveratrol, an anti-aging supporting compound from red wine. We also have vitamin D in there. We have the CoQ10. Best CoQ10 in the world, invented by Dr. William Judy. That's all in this. The most important part is it's high quality, naturally derived. It matches in your program. The whole point of this is if we want to have the right amount of vitamins and minerals, so it matches in. But there's this whole thing is, when you do vitamins that way, you miss out on the phytonutrients and flavonoids. So to do vitamins like that, so what do we have? We have the greens and fruits. And they are to provide those phytonutrients that are missing. That's why we have both products. Put it in perspective, 1 scoop of greens is about 9 salads in terms of phytonutrients. So that's really terrific. All right, let's talk about protein. Now, I had this argument with the Anderson household this morning in Seattle about having shakes in the morning. This isn't a debate. It turns out humans need to have whey protein first thing in the morning because it turns on your protein metabolism and fat burning for the next 24 hours. If you can tolerate and take whey, which is about 9 out of 10 people in the population. This is a clinical study. It hasn't been published yet. But this is an extraordinary finding. So people say, "Well, what is taking whey protein in the AM? Give me a time." So I make it up. 9 o'clock. That's it. I just made it up, and that's the way it is. And that's another reason you have your Isagenix shake for breakfast. So we have, when we come off our cleanse days, because we know if we eat low-calorie, super nutritionally dense food, it puts up our growth hormone. And we also now know if you take whey protein in the morning, what does it do? It turns on your fat burning and your protein metabolism for the next 24 hours. John Anderson's really smart, isn't it? Yeah. All right, so we have Isagenix Pro. My sister asked this morning, "What should we be taking the Isagenix Pro? Is that too much protein?" No. Okay, now my 12-year-old niece, we're going to get her to take half, because she's 12 years old. Well, she's almost the size of my sister. But to everyone else, I'm convinced you should be taking this product. This is the only one I recommend, the only one I use now, because I love that it has more protein and a little lower sugar. All right, we have grass-fed cows that are better than USDA organic. Who cares? I know with Michael Klaus, who cares? We eat whatever we want, right? Who cares? You care they're grass-fed? Yeah. Why? Who cares if they're grass-fed? Ah, so that's interesting. You do care, but you can't tell me why. We're going to go into that in a second. Better than USDA organic. I have a question on this. Dr. Michael Colden has been was with the New Zealand Dairy Board in the early 80s, and he developed the whey protein concentrate that you actually take. Yes, he was involved in the whole thing, and he set the standards that were higher than USDA organic. Our own Dr. Michael Colden, and then from 1980 all the way circles back to the mid-2000s to join us. That's why it's better than USDA organic. We're trying to avoid the pesticides, fungicides, and heavy metals. And the other thing is we want raw dairy, right? We want raw dairy because we want those enzymes to help digest it, but we can't. When we pasteurize at low temperature, high pressure to keep the stereochemistry of the protein, but we lose the enzymes. So we add the enzymes back, and it's the best we can do under the rules that we exist in this country. And we only have 240 calories in isolene shake, and it is nutritionally dense. So it's low calorie and nutritionally dense. Is that good for you? Yes. It's really good for you. Let's just talk about the grass-fed for a second. Are cows supposed to eat grass? Yes. This is a feedlot. You know, this is right beside the Isagenix headquarters, the ironic part. This is a giant feedlot right there. It was by the other day. Pretty funny. Do you see any grass in this picture? No. Are cows supposed to eat grass? Yes. Okay. What do we feed them? Grain. Soy and corn. Is it GMO? Yes. Okay. All right. Does it make the animal healthy or sick? Sick. So we pump them full of what? Antibiotics. Okay, then they're not growing enough, we're not going to make enough money, so then we pump them full of hormones, steroids and growth hormone. And then they don't make enough weight, so we give them concrete dust the last month to put a little more weight on them. You know what? Let's get mad at me. I'm not a farmer. I just tell you this. So don't eat the stuff, right? Don't eat conventional beef and dairy, right? Doesn't that make sense? Give it up. You're eating a grass-fed, better than organic shake, and I watch people go out and eat conventional beef and dairy. Are you guys crazy? Don't eat that stuff. You eat organic, and what you really want is grass-fed. If you have a choice between natural grass-fed and organic grain, what are you going to pick? Grass-fed. Natural grass-fed, that's right. Raw cheese, raw dairy if you can get it. All right, because this is our cows. These are actually our cows. Well, we don't own them, we rent them, but... What do you notice in this picture? What a concept. We actually feed the cows grass. Season. Why do we milk them in season? Because a pissed off cow makes lousy whey. We want them to be happy. They're happy cows. They come and they play with their friends. They eat a little grass. They're in season. We take a little bit of their milk and we send it. New Zealand is a very pristine place in terms of making supplements. All right, so let's talk about protein because there's been some other competitors saying, and I've been putting down soy protein long before this whole controversy, but Travis asked me to talk about this. First of all, bioavailability of protein. Why the top is 104, I don't know. Weighs 104, look at eggs, pretty good, milk, look at beef, look at soy, 74. And soy is not a complete protein, which means you cannot survive on it. It doesn't have all the amino acids. It's not the same as soy lecithin. Soy lecithin is not related to soy protein in this discussion. The bigger problem with soy protein is I make this offer to the crowd, I'll give you free soy protein for life. But before you do, guys, just so you know, it womanizes you. Okay? The thing is because it mimics estrogen. So do you want to build a body with protein that's incomplete, low bioavailability, and going to make you look like a woman? So the guys, it's probably not a good idea. Now women, it's like, well, it makes estrogen, I need more estrogen, I'm going to take it. Just this one little fact. Unopposed estrogen in women is a major risk factor for breast cancer. You always take an estrogen in your body and measure it. If you're going to do a hormone replacement, you always do bioidentical, get yourself measured, and reduce your cancer risk. So taking in a food that's going to cause estrogen effect in your body and you don't know how much, should you do it? No. That's why I don't like soy. And here's the other thing is, if you just look at fat burning, The only fat burning you get from soy is really in the first couple of hours because it's basically being digested. Look at the fat burning of whey over 6 hours. That's why you have it when? By what time? Now we got to explain why this happens though. One of the reasons with whey protein, we use whey protein concentrate because it mimics the same ratio of protein in breast milk. That's one of the reasons that it was designed this way in this company. Because we retain the anabolic pathway that we had as infants. We are fed, we're supposed to have it on breast milk. And we match that. And that pathway exists on you throughout your entire life. And that's why whey protein has been so effective in weight loss and making us healthy, all the other things we talked about today. So let's talk about anti-aging. So Okinawan fisherman, he is upside down, it is intentional. 65 years old, he has the same growth hormone level as the average 30-year-old American male. Wow. Okay, they live routinely to their 100. Remember my sister says you're in it to the game for the next 50 or plus years, right? They routinely live to this age. They have really high levels of growth hormone. That's one of the secrets of living longer. Inflammation shortens telomeres. What's a telomere? Here's the good news. You guys don't really know. No offense, but you really know. It's the end of the DNA where transcription and replication occurs, and it shortens when we get older. And it's been linked to being to our age in terms of if it's short, you're going to live less, and if it's longer, you're going to live longer, right? Does the average public know this? No. Are you going to really be able to share that concept? I'll give you something new. You ready? Now, does the average person know what DNA does? They have no clue. But they know it's important when they know we've got it, right? So here you go. DNA long, live long. DNA long, live long. DNA short, you're screwed. Try it again. You didn't get the second part. DNA long, live long. DNA short, you're screwed. Let's do it again. DNA long, live long. DNA short, you're screwed. Oh, isn't that fantastic? So inflammation actually shortens your DNA. And everything we talked about today all affects your DNA health. So if you want to actually be in the game for the next 50 plus years, this is one of the reasons you use Isagenix, because you're managing all those areas around where we're having problems. We talked about what? Toxins, poor nutrition, your own fat. We talked about sleep. We talked about stress. We talked about the right kind of exercise. All these things affect what? The DNA length. Okay? So this is an important concept. And of course, being in this company, they came up with Part B, what? It supports healthy. And then after you say that, just say, your DNA is long, you. DNA short, you're. Everyone gets that. Now the final thing we're talking about is chronic pain. Now, if you're walking around with chronic pain, can you feel young, healthy, and sexy? No. Or you feel old, sick, and broken? Yes. All right, so chronic pain apparently is a really big problem. Chronic pain is one of the major contributors to body inflammation. So you got to manage chronic pain. Now, we have a couple things for pain in this. I had the fortune of working on this with Dr. Mark Hines, and yes, he is Kathy Cooper's brother. We have a joint and pain relief system. And again, it's the same thing as anything else. There's not one thing that's going to cure your joint pain and problems. It's just not realistic. It's just like our whole system. You're not going to suddenly give you one pill that's going to suddenly suck all the fat off you and make you young, beautiful, and 18 again. I know you're hoping, Jamie, but it ain't going to happen anytime soon. So this is a system. You take 3 of these with joint support twice a day with food, and you use the cream very aggressively for the first week, 4 to 6 times a day. Get out of pain. You got to break your pain cycle. And then after that, you can cut down on the cream, and if you so choose, you can cut down on the joint support. I will tell you though, it supports healthy cartilage. I do recommend you stay on at least 2 to 3 twice a day with food. And try it for yourself if you're not using it, and it's a great way to share with people. So, yeah, that's why Isagenix makes you leaner, healthier, and younger. You've been great. You know, I love your signs. We went from 15 to 10, 5. You've been very gentle. You did very, Linda, you've been wonderful. I don't even know what to say. Yes, all right, well, I want to thank you. I'm going to finish here. I'm around all day for questions. A couple things. You can reach me on Paul W. Anderson on Facebook. You can ask me questions. Don't ask anything too personally. Private message me. Realize everyone is watching. All right? And I want to thank you for having me in Seattle. It's been a joy and a pleasure.